Hello everyone, this is City Scrapper. I'm so glad you could join me today for day 18 of Christy's Beautiful Life, 30 Days of Sketches, and Scraptember. You could see today's sketch in the upper left-hand corner of the screen, and the Scraptember prompt for today is selfie. I started off the layout by doing some measuring. I drew 3 really small pencil lines to try to figure out where I wanted to put the 3 lines of paint on the layout. I'm painting on a piece of smooth white cardstock. I've already covered it with some white Liquitex gesso. I'm using a larger brush, larger than I usually use, and I'm using some black acrylic paint. The brush was dry before I put it into the paint. I made sure that it wasn't wet, and that helps me to make some brush stroke effects on the background. Next, I want to stamp some butterflies. I'm using some Vicki Boutin stamps from an older collection. I'm using some archival ink. This is Staz On in jet black. And the pad that I'm using is a Vicki Boutin pad from her color study collection. So I'm looking through the pad and I'm picking patterns that read as solids. And I'm looking for very bright colors, although all of the colors in this collection are bright. I wasn't sure how many butterflies I was going to use, so I'm stamping a couple of extras. And then once I have a number of butterflies stamped on the pad, I go back with some scissors and I cut each of them out. And I just love this collection. I don't buy as many collections as I used to because I feel that I have a lot of paper to use up. But I had to pick up this collection. I just love the super bright colors. And as soon as I saw the sketch, I thought of this collection because the bright colors in this collection go really well with black and white. So I thought that this would be a good complement to the white in the background and the dark black lines. I couldn't find all the colors that I wanted in the 6x8-inch paper pad. So I'm using this piece of pattern paper and I'm stamping a few more butterflies, and I don't use all of them, but I wanted to have all the different colors in case I wanted to use them. Now that I have all these butterflies stamped, I want to cut them out, and luckily this particular stamp comes with a die. I don't have a lot of matching stamps and dies, and I found this was such a luxury to be able to use the die rather than having to fussy cut the butterflies out. And here I'm using my favorite die cutting machine. This is a We Are Memory Keepers, very small little mini unit, and I use it all the time. It's so easy to take out and put away. I wanted to add some splatters to the background. I started off with some watered down black acrylic paint, and I'm sprinkling that paint around the background. And then once I added the black splatters, I thought it might be nice if I added some white splatters on the black lines. Now I'm going to start assembling my background. I wanted to mount the black and white background on a colorful piece of paper, so I chose this striped paper from the Vicki Boutin Color Study collection. And then I had already mounted the background paper on some black cardstock. You could see it's just a very, very thin border of black around the mixed media background. This is the photo I'm going to use, and I mounted it first on some white cardstock and then on some of that awesome lime green cardstock. In the sketch there are snowflakes, but I'm going to be lining butterflies up to the left of the photo instead. I wanted to extend those black lines a little bit, so I go back in with my paintbrush and some more black acrylic paint. And I want the edges to look a little wispy. I don't want the lines to look too solid. So I did a little bit of dry brushing around each of those lines. And then of course I had to go back in with some splatters to make it look like the rest of the background. I'm popping up the photo and I'm using some lime green fun foam. And even though you can't see it, I was thinking, well, this matches with the pattern paper that I mounted my photo on. And I wasn't sure if I should put my photo on an angle or if I should make it straight. I'm still not sure. I like it both ways. I went with straight because the butterflies are going to be at angles. I arranged the butterflies in rainbow order. Even though I don't have all the colors of the rainbow, I'm pretty close. I'm popping up some of the butterflies on some foam and some I'm attaching directly to the background. and I'm spending a little bit of time figuring out exactly how I want to angle each of the butterflies and figure out how to layer them, which ones to overlap, which ones to pop up. So this is pretty much the arrangement that I decided on. So I popped up the orange butterfly, I pop up the green butterfly, and I also pop up that royal blue or purplish butterfly that's on the bottom. The photograph that I'm using is a photo of my older daughter, Danielle, and I believe it's a selfie. It has that selfie look to it. I love the way she was wearing an orange hat and looks like an orange scarf, and I like the way the green in the mat looked with the orange. So now I'm attaching the photo down using some ATG adhesive. And I chose this sticker, Be Colorful, from the Vicki Boutin Color Study sticker sheet. I bought a good amount of the pattern paper from this collection, but there weren't too many embellishments left by the time I went shopping for them. I went to Joann and they had sold out of a lot of the embellishments. But I'm always happy when I can find the pattern paper for a collection, even if I can't find anything else. I always feel that it's the pattern paper that's at the heart of the collection, and you can always find other embellishments or make some out of the pattern paper. So I was very happy to have the pattern paper that I have, and I guess if I really want the embellishments, I could look for them online, but I'm happy with what I have. I added some photo corners to the photo. At first, I was thinking that I would make them very colorful, but then after I punched out some photo corners, I flipped them over. They were black on the other side, and I liked the way that that looked. I thought that there was enough color on the page, and it would be nice if the photo corners were black. And then I was laughing because I realized that I didn't punch out the pattern paper. I punched out the label that said American Crafts, and if you look carefully on the upper right-hand photo corner, you could see the word American, or part of it anyway, and I just thought that these worked out just fine. I added some colorful circles to the layout, and then I took them off, but they find their way back on again a little bit later. Now I'm adding some embellishments to the layout. I pulled some of the stickers off the sticker sheet, and then I went into my stash to find some different colored enamel shapes and dots. And you could see that to the right of each of the butterflies, I'm adding embellishments in the same color and carrying them across those lines. This layout gave me the opportunity to dive into some of the items in my stash that I don't take out that often. I keep a color-coded box of enamel shapes. They're very big dots and hearts and arrows and stars, and I really don't reach for that box as often as I should. But they came in really handy for this layout. I needed so many embellishments. I needed them to be in the specific colors of the butterflies, and so they weren't really too hard to find, and I kind of had some fun there picking out some different embellishments. I tried to pick embellishments that were different sizes, and I spent a considerable amount of time spreading them around and then putting them down and picking them back up again and arranging them until I liked the way they looked. And I decided at one point that I wanted to add some embellishments to the left of the butterflies. I thought that that was a nice little touch and extended the color out a little bit to the left. I believe it's because the background is gessoed. I found that once I stuck down these enamel shapes that they were a little bit hard to pick back up again and move around. So I'm using it's not an X-Acto knife, but it's a craft knife, and that's helping me to be able to manipulate them and move them around a little bit. Not too long ago, I got some organizing boxes. They are available in Michael's. I've seen them in other places, and they're a large box with 16 smaller boxes on the inside, and they made it so easy for me to organize all of my enamel shapes and my enamel dots by color, and I find them much easier to find now that I've taken some time and put them all in these boxes. Now I'm adding 2 of those circles back in, and I decided this time that I was going to cluster those around the title. I thought that it was perfect to have these very colorful circles next to the title that says, Be Colorful. I'm also adding a small multicolored butterfly from the sticker sheet. And I had 1 more of those circles on top of the photo to create that triangle. And even though there's a lot of other stickers and really nice sentiments that I thought would go perfectly on this layout, I felt that I had enough going on, and I decided to just keep the embellishments to the ones that I had already decided on. except for adding a very small enamel dot to each photo corner, and I put a different color on each of the 4 corners. And here I'm just going through those boxes looking for enamel dots in just the right color and just the right size. And that completes the layout. Thank you so much for watching this video, everybody. I really appreciate it. I hope that you got some ideas from it or at least enjoyed watching it. Please take a look in the description box for links to all the other channels that have 30 days of sketches and Scraptember videos and Instagram posts. And I will see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye, everybody.